2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Da 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 da, shabba da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da dee da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da be da do da da da, shabba da be da da da, yeah, shabba dee da, said to buy.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Chef Tobias Cooks here with Women in Business. Where's the echo, huh?
Yes, I'm turning that down right now.
All right. Yes, all right. So, good morning, everyone. Chef Tobias Cooks here with the Voice of Stockton. So, we have something a little new today. We have a little different camera angles. You know, us women, we have to make it work, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So we are doing, have the honor and the pleasure to bring to you an entrepreneur here, one of the engineers here at the Voice of Stockton. So this is really great. I'm really excited about it because we get to show the behind scenes of what goes on, what really goes on, and that this is not a man's world, right?
Right.
No, it isn't. Many of you know that.
Beyonce told us that years ago.
Yes, she did.
We run the world.
We just started listening. Yes. So many of you know that my background is culinary. Culinary is a very well male-driven career, so that when we see women that are in those areas and in those spaces, then we have to let one another know that it's possible, right?
Yes, ma'am. We can do it. Ain't no reason why we can't.
Yes, we can. Except there's a few things I won't do though.
Well, we can't. Yeah, that you know, and that's how I feel about that. Just because men do it, don't mean women should. We can do whatever men do, but that don't mean we should. Yes. They shouldn't do half the stuff they do.
that part, that's a whole nother show.
Yes.
We don't have to like dim the lights for that show and put like a disco ball and some 21 carding going on.
Get some tea ready.
Yes, lots of tea, lots of church lady sweet tea. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Chezz. Most people call me Chezz Day. I'm the founder, CEO, whatever, owner, everything. Owner, operator of Hella Deadass Entertainment.
Yes.
It started off as Hella Deadass Promotions, then media, then events, and then I was like, you know what? If I just say entertainment, that encompasses all of it.
I know. I love how you were just very bold with it. There is something that I wanted to do, and it had a very bad name in it.
Right.
And I couldn't talk about the church ladies and then go and say.
Right. Right.
So sometimes we do have to be a little cautious of how we name our
brand ourselves,
brands and our books. Like I seen one book and I saw the name and I was kind of like, and then I saw up under it, it said something that was very contradictory to what the name had said.
Right.
So it was very interesting. But neither or, I love how you just come out and say Hella, because Hella is a California name.
Well, see, that's where that comes from. Because back in March, when I was first really like getting on the ground with this, I went and visited some of my friends in the hip hop community out there. That's where my main focus is, food and hip hop.
Yes.
So I went out there, and that's what they say. Deadass is their Hella.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it was like my buddy, who sounds just like Christopher Walken, thickest New York accent I've ever heard in my life. Yes. But he was just deadass. So I started joking around and putting it together, Hella Deadass, because they mean essentially the same thing. Yes. You know what I mean? And then I thought, like, well, I'm dealing with people in California, I'm dealing with people in New York, so why don't I bridge the gap there?
Yes, but you were very clever when you put entertainment.
Yes.
So the thing about the entertainment piece is that you can take it. You could do an LLC with it. You could do a corpse with it, a C corp, not a C corp. You could do a corporation.
An umbrella corporation.
Yes, and then
that's what I'm going for.
Exactly, and then you can, umbrella that, and then have so many different sections under it.
Right.
So that's why I like the fact that you put entertainment under it. So it's like, okay, I know what I'm getting. I'm getting some hella, entertainment. Yes, all right. So today's theme is starting entrepreneurship. Yes. Especially with women, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I know that you and I have been connecting for a couple weeks now and everything, and I'm so happy that it all came together, that we were able to go ahead and get this interview done. So here's the thing, let's just jump right into it. Starting entrepreneurship, women in business, what does that look like for you? And by the way, what is your nickname?
Chezz.
Chezz, I love it. I love it. I have 4 children. 3 of my children start with a Z. So anytime I see a Z, I get excited. I'm excited. All right, so Chezz, let's jump into it. So what does that look like for you now that you have identified who you are? Your passion is hip hop. Your passion is food. You were able to marry that together. You were able to come up with your own concept. Now you're starting to brand yourself. Now you're starting to do these things within your brand. What does entrepreneurship now looks like for you?
Well, let me back up a little bit to like when I started doing this, because there's a big difference between what it looks like to me now and what it looked like to me 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
That part, yes.
So 10 years ago, that's when I just started with promotion. It wasn't hella Deadass. I knew there was a lot of untapped potential in Stockton, and I wanted to be a part in bridging people together. Yes. I was doing it completely pro bono, like wasn't charging anybody anything, doing marketing, promotions, helping booking for shows. But I quickly got burnt out, because when you're not making any money doing anything, and you're not, you're just giving your services away for free, and you don't have a side income to supplement that, So I fell into the hole of working full time, like just living my little mundane experience. I used to work up until a couple months ago, I worked at an adult store for 2 years. And it was a high-end adult store.
I knew you then.
Yeah, I'm still very knowledgeable. we had to train in so many different things. Yeah. And then I'm just that type of person. Whatever I'm selling, I want to know as much as I can about it.
We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Yeah.
That's part of entertainment, right?
Yes, producer, director, all wrapped up in one. Yes.
Right, but I realized it was like killing my soul.
Yes.
Like just the whole environment, the company, it wasn't because it was an adult store. It was like the company I was working for just really didn't care about its people, and it was just horrible. And I started realizing like I'm working just to be able to afford to go to work. I still wasn't making great money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I finally was just like, you know what, I quit. And I had already been building up my brand for the last 7 months by the time I'd done that. So where I'm at now is, shout out hella Deadass merch coming to you, getting my t-shirts today. So you guys, you got to place those orders. Let me know your size. It's going to be very limited amount for the first batch. And then I did find better part-time work that I'll be starting very soon. So it'll still be making me as much money, but give me more time to be able to actually pour into what I prefer to do.
Yes, and let's talk about that a little bit, because I have an experience with quitting my job. And a lot of people, we hear the motivational speakers, we hear the people that, say, oh, I can do it and you can do it too. No, you can't, because it looks different for everyone. Right. I jumped in head first. I didn't really have a plan. I didn't really have things laid out. you were a little bit more advanced than I. I didn't even have a brand. I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, I quit my job, and I had 2 paychecks that was going to come after me quitting my job.
Yeah, I had a 401k. That's kind of
I didn't even have that, okay? And I was praying that they would give me the money all at one time. I was like, please give me the money at one time. But they went ahead and they extended out my unemployment and some stuff I had. So I basically was like, I went from leaving my job the last day, that Friday. Monday morning, I was in a chef outfit in the middle of summer. Full-fledged black chef coat, black pants, black shoes, knife bag, driving down the street. Like, I gotta figure this out. Like, I have to figure this out. And I ended up at one event, and that event changed my entire lifestyle of now becoming an entrepreneur.
Nice.
So for people that are saying, oh, I hate my job, I'm gonna quit my job, you, first of all, you could chime in with me, please. You have to have the perseverance.
Oh, yes. I'm lucky enough to have a significant other that is, he's self-employed for the last 10 years and has already, I keep that on the down low, so y'all not going to get the name right now, but
mine is watching, my husband watching right now. That's my financial.
Exactly, and that's kind of what it is. Yes. You know what I mean? Is he's my significant other, but he's also my mentor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because he's so experienced. Yeah, and I mean, I'm lucky that it's wrapped into one, but that's one thing is you need a mentor. You need to talk to people who have done what you want to do successfully.
Yes.
Most importantly, done it successfully. Not just tried it and think they know what they're talking about. Like actually have stuff to back it up. Yes. That's one of the biggest differences of when I started trying to go after this in this last January versus 10 years ago is I actually had like someone helping coach me through it. And yeah, I did. One thing I did want to mention is Mixed Metaphors, my freestyle competition coming up on September 21st.
Look at this.
At Zap Zone.
This is a true entrepreneur. I love this. I love it. But yes, we're going to get to that.
But my I had started doing events. And the first couple I did for free. Just like I said, you have to be able that you can prove that you can do something.
And I still do some stuff for free.
You know what I mean? Like it's an investment. Your time is just like your money. You can invest money into stuff, or you can invest your time.
Absolutely. You just now I have to be selective.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, of course.
And then I have to think about.
I don't do events for free no more, guys. So just throwing that out there. Unless it's charitable.
I'm a feed you.
Unless it's charitable.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother thing. A lot of people don't understand that when you do first start off, you can't start off with this price list and expect for people to pay you. You do have to build up your portfolio. You do have to. Yesterday I did a podcast, and it takes a village to grow your business.
Oh yeah.
And you do have to build your village, like your mentors, the people that support you, the people that are going to share your information on social media, the people that are going to refer you to their friends and things like that. But the very first thing that you have to do is when you quit your jobs, make sure you got food in the house, make sure your car is gassed up. Yeah. Make sure your shoes don't have holes in it, make sure you get your hair done. Right. Because it will be a long ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, I'm like skating just to the end of the funds I've had. Yeah. But a big part of it also is, I don't know your beliefs, but I believe in God. And I believe that this whole year has been an influence of Him. You know what I mean?
A manifestation.
Yeah. Yes. So the initial reason I quit my job is because I had like a full-time job lined up that was supposed to be like legit.
Yes.
Now that's happened to me 2 or 3 times. And it wasn't until this part-time job came along after I'd already secured this radio station position. Yes. Because if I had gotten the first job, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Destiny.
So yeah, I'm the type like I'm broke. I'll let y'all know I'm broke right now. My bills are
Right
paid.
now, just
My bills
right
are
now,
paid,
just
but
right
but chasing your dream is not free or easy.
It is not free.
But I've not worried about it because, like I said, I can feel that I'm finally, for the first time in my life, on the right path, and things working out.
Yeah. You know,
And a month from now, I won't be broke.
I'm gonna tell you something, and you won't be broke.
For the first time in my life.
You won't be. But you know, let me tell you something about being broke. You can find your true self in being broke. You can find your true strength in being broke. Being broke will reveal to you the type of person you are.
Oh yeah.
Whether you are a hustler. Oh, we talked about follow-up a little bit earlier. When there's an opportunity given to you when you're broke, you will follow up with those opportunities.
Right.
And you will create opportunities. And sometimes there will be things that you see that you could be like, you know what? I can make this better. I can do that. So being broke actually is a tool that's needed to start off. You know, we hear stories like
you got to be hungry to really want to eat.
Said that his father gave him $1 million to start his company, and so for us, we like, wow, $1 million. But his mindset of $1 million was completely different.
Right.
You know, if someone give us $100, our mindset will be completely different than someone that's an entrepreneur versus someone that's having a paycheck. That $100 will become different.
Right.
You know, and we have lots of great examples of people in entertainment that started off broke. Tyler Perry was one of them that lived in his car. Tiffany Haddish, who lived in her car. I won't say that we have to go that far, but when you're chasing your passion and your dream, and
you should at least be willing to.
You believe in yourself. Oh, you're gonna be willing. Yeah. And
I think that's the main difference is people say they want to do it, they say it, but they don't because you would just do it.
Yes.
Until you and I could say the same thing about myself. That the last 9 years, I just didn't really want to do it.
Yes.
You know, and it took me wanting to do it to actually do it.
Yes.
So.
Well, you know what? A lot of sometimes people say procrastination. But the truth in procrastination is a lot of times that's just the fear of unknowing. It's just basically, and sometimes in procrastination, it's, oh, I could do it another way. Like, you know that this is the way that it's supposed to be done.
Right.
But you're giving an excuse to yourself, oh, I could do it another way, or I could do it later.
Right.
Or I'll do this first, and then I'll go do that. And it's like you said, if it's something that you want to do, or if it's something, just do it. But sometimes we have to go through being broke. Sometimes we have to go through being put on pause. Sometimes we have to go through not getting that job that we thought we were going to get. Sometimes we have to go through not getting married, or not having that child, or not being able to go out with my friends or visit, you know. Sometimes we have to go through those experiences so that we could come full circle back around and do what it is we need to do. All right, so moving forth, let's get back to some of the events and stuff you have coming up. This is a great conversation. Thank you for being so transparent, because a lot of people, especially women, we really need to understand the truth about entrepreneurship. We really need to understand what it looks like for a woman, the needs that we
when
have.
You're not willing to get on the pole.
Girl.
Because wouldn't that just make everything so much easier? If you didn't have morals.
I'm not going to say nothing because I have some family members that's making pretty good money.
Oh, they all,
and
yeah.
I support them.
I support them too. I just personally can't do it. I'm jealous.
I can't do it.
I'm jealous
because what had happened is when I was young, I ate too many cakes. And my body structure won't allow me to get in that thong and all that other stuff. But I do have family members that is in that world, and one one of them is very successful at it. And the reason why she's very successful is because her mindset is on business.
Right.
Her mindset.
And and I do want to disclaim that I'm not, knocking anybody. That's your thing. You know what I mean?
I'll be like, what would be your name?
It was supposed to be like your middle name and like the street you live on or something.
Oh,
that's what it was in high school.
Mine would be East Nikki.
I'm gonna be Alexandria Monterey.
Oh, I like that one. Oh, you probably get all the uppity,
the big spindles.
Yeah, big spindles. I get like the chicken wing special. Chicken wing.
The Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. 6 hot wings for $3. Yeah.
No, but I mean, in fairness, I used to work in an adult store, so I'm all for, as long as between consenting adults, do what you do.
Did you get discounts?
30%.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all was sleeping on the cheddar.
I would have been up in there, girl. Yes.
But I just want to make sure, especially with, how mainstream, especially in the hip hop world.
Yes.
I just want to make sure women and especially young girls know that that's not the only way to do it.
Yes.
If when you're old enough you want to do that stuff, more power to you. But I just don't want them conditioned to think that that's the only way to succeed. So.
Yes. Let's see. I have 4 part-time.
Yeah, our service is tripping in here.
I have 4 part-time jobs trying to fatigue out how to pay bills while pursuing the dream. I will be rentless, never giving up. Yeah, don't give up. Please don't give up. I have stories, lots of stories of me going through situations like that. And my family, I had family that would help watch my daughter for me when I was much younger. I had family members that would give me groceries and stuff when I was much younger. So please don't give up, because let me tell you something. You can always find a way out of your situation.
Yes, and that's another thing too, is knowing what resources you have available and actually speaking up and asking people for help, because that's another thing that I had to learn, because I've always been self-sufficient. I've been working since I was 16. You know what I mean? I don't ask people for anything, but when you're an entrepreneur, it's a little easier.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're helping me building this business. It's not as impersonal. But in regards to her specific situation, come out to the function last Saturday. We have informational resources for stuff like that, for like help with food, help with, especially if you're a mom and you're working all that and you're starting a business. There's all kinds of people out there that can, like you said, building a business takes a village. Okay,
so let's talk about this a little bit, because I want to keep time, and I definitely want to get back to your events. But this is just something, and Ahmad, what's up, Ahmad? Assalamu alaikum. He just said something that was very important. Here's the thing. I'm just going to give you the tea real quick. If you have a niche, if you have a passion, and if you have something that you are very talented about, you have a business. Okay? If you have interest, that you're interested in something, you can have a business. Right. So for instance, and we'll get to you, so for instance, for me, I'm a chef, culinary world. So what I had to do is I had to first educate myself. I first had to go to culinary school, get the right certificate, get the right degrees. Then I had to learn on the business side of it. What does food cost look like? What does food prep look like? What does how many ounces of food on a plate? How much did it cost me to make that plate? Right. How much did it cost me to go to the grocery store? How was my gas? What was my time like? Do I need to hire a staff? How much do I need to charge per plate or per person to not only make my money back, but be able to pay the people that I hired, and then also earn some income? So those are things that I had to educate myself. Then I had to educate myself on the politics and policies of being a chef. Being that I'm a woman and I'm a minority woman, I'm brown. That world doesn't.
You don't say.
Yeah, but that world doesn't fit me. I don't see anyone on television that look like me that's in that world.
Right.
So now I had to figure out different ways besides me cooking. How can I still stay in the culinary world, still be trendy, still be popular, still run my businesses, and able to still thrive in this. And then for you, what I admire about you so much, and I appreciate about you, because hip hop, you love hip hop, you love food, but you also learn how to work behind the scenes. You also learn how to run the board. You also learn how to run the business, how to manage events, how to organize events, how to get people on your roster, how to network, how to utilize your resources. And I love how you said earlier that if you want to be in hip hop and you want to go into hip hop, you don't have to go this route. There are other routes for you to take.
Oh, yeah.
So in saying that, let's talk about some of the routes and some of the things that you're doing in hip hop as far as making yourself a mogul. Because I see you being a mogul. I see you writing books. I see you producing. I see you directing. I see you doing, I see you even discovering talent.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When I started doing the PR, I was working with the director.
Yes.
So I've done directing. I know video editing. I actually started more with the behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
But I've been a writer all of my life. So it only made sense that eventually I'm going to start, actually recording stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, I was watching a TED Talk, and it was about multitaskers, and I like the way they put it, is how back in the Renaissance times, like that's what a Renaissance man was somebody that had a bunch of skills in a bunch of related areas as opposed to just one thing. So that's kind of like my approach, is how many aspects of my industry can I learn? Basically, how many costs can I cut with doing it myself is what it boils down to.
That part. That part. That's the real tip. Keep going. Yes.
But yeah, the actual lucrative part of my business started with event coordinating. Like I said, the first couple I was interning with Channel Brew. And I greatly appreciate them for giving me that opportunity, because they didn't have to at all. But so after I started that, the mixed metaphors thing, that's another thing that I took from New York. It's more of a style competition that they do that out there. We have rap battles and stuff, but we don't have a genuine freestyle competition where you're not like talking smack on each other. You're just trying to be the best poet, basically. I mean, that's all hip hop is. The type of hip hop that I prefer is poetry and very lyrically based. So from there, my event started traveling to different venues. One of the venues was Blackwater. Talking to them about that, I started talking to Pat, the owner. We got on food, or actually Jason Winland. Shout out Jason. He's been the homie for a while. Sorry, Pops, I can't answer the phone right now. But he was telling me that Pat wanted to get into doing food and whatnot. And food is my other love of since all time. Like I used to watch Julia Child, Wolfgang Puck, like back before there was a Food Network channel. And then basically all I watch as far as network shows is food and food travel. And I already had that image of the culinary world in mind, like you said, where it's male dominated, and that aspect I didn't even want to try, because I knew one little iota of difficulty. I was out
of this kitchen.
So I think, going back again to, stuff happening for a reason when it happens, like this showing up is exactly perfect for me. You know what I mean? I've had experience in kitchens since I was 16 years old, and I love to cook. Like I've cooked Thanksgiving dinners for like my whole group of friends. Like you put the recipe in front of me, I can do it. So I love that. Our first event will be the 22nd of September. It's the fall equinox, so it's going to be fall themed, vegan and vegetarian friendly. We're going to do like some paninis, some salads, and some made from scratch soups. Just simple, dipping my toe into the culinary world. But this is something that we definitely want to start doing either monthly or probably quarterly. Just
so like a pop-up.
Yes.
And so you will mix that with like the hip hop culture.
This one in particular, because hip hop is my main staple. That's the music I do. But I grew up listening to everything from the Beatles to like.
But that's what hip hop is.
Yeah.
Hip hop is a
it's the eclectic.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So, but for the entertainment aspect of this event, it will be more like folk type music, just because I don't know. I thought Fall Equinox is kind of like Wiccan based, so more hippie type.
Yes.
That's what I'm going for. But then, my vision is to have a fashion show with a food pop up that has DJs and MCs performing. So stay tuned for that. I don't know what it's called yet. I don't know where it's going to be at, but I bet you.
They'll follow you on your Facebook and your Instagram, and they'll
mark my words.
All that information. Let's talk about, and real quick, I find it funny. I know a few wicked people, and they're vegans. And I'm like,
oh
it's
yeah,
kind of interesting.
How they're like how you meet animals in real life, but then you're vegan.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So Blackwater Cafe, let's talk about that. Yes. Yeah,
Blackwater. They're in my history as far as venues go.
Yes.
They were the first place I started going out when I was like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah,
that used to be the staple
of Stockton community.
Yes,
Blackwater Cafe.
There's a lot of bands that have come through there. A lot of my favorite Stockton artists I discovered there. So when Jason reached out to me, like I said, initially just to do events, because I am doing events with them as well.
Yes. Do you have an upcoming event with them?
Not this month, just because they were already so booked. Basically, they didn't need my help. But we're always we work together in that way. But it is going to be with them and Pat that I do the probably quarterly pop-ups.
Okay, so let me know about the pop-ups. Let me know about that so I can get some support for you going with that. Yes.
Since this first one is already on the fall equinox, I was kind of thinking of keeping that the theme, like do the winter solstice, and not necessarily keep it hippie and everything like that, but just as a timeline.
Yeah.
But honestly, beyond this first one, I haven't given it much thought.
It'll all come up, trust me.
But going back to mixed metaphors,
yes,
that will be at Zap Zone in North Stockton.
Okay.
So
So how do they register with that? Do they?
It's $5 at the door.
Okay. Give them your Facebook page.
Chezz Day, CHEZZERE. Space DAY, or you can go to Hella Deadass, self-explanatory spelling on that one. And it is a laser tag place, so there will be beer, pizza, and laser tag going on, as well as the mixed metaphors. So come out early. The show's going to start at 8. Come out a couple hours early, grab some beers, play a few rounds of laser tag, and then enjoy the show.
I love it. All right, so as far as Hella Deadass Entertainment, what do you see? Like, I see that you're doing some networking for that. You're getting out in the community. You're
actually,
some pop-ups, some organization. What do you see with your company? What is your vision and mission?
My vision and mission is to basically be a one-stop shop for independent artists. Whether it be you want to get your album done, you need a studio, you need a video done, you need whatever. You want to be booked at events. You're going on tour. You're traveling. You need a connection in this city, type thing. So basically that.
So that's where marketing, all of your experience, everything you're doing here at the Voice of Stockton, and all of that comes together. We get to see the mogo in you.
And networking, like, I honestly feel like that's my like God-given gift, because not only like I'm pretty charismatic, that's one thing, but like some of these connections are just so lucky. Like that's not me.
I was talking about that on my podcast yesterday. I was talking about how networking is just that's one of my superwoman gifts that I have. And when I was younger, I didn't understand it, because I used to get my feelings hurt a lot, because I used to wonder why people didn't receive me the way that I received them, or why they didn't see the excitement in meeting you, because I thought it was exciting in meeting you.
Right.
And when I didn't get that response when I was younger, that caused a lot of depression and insecurities. And of course, we grow and we learn and we develop, and I'm like, hey, that's a superpower of mine. You know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. There's about 7 billion people in the world, and I think I can meet about 1% of them.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the same. I don't think anybody feels indifferently about me.
Yes.
I think you either like love the heck out of what I'm doing, or you can't stand my guts. And you know,
there's no middle ground.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a unique character.
Yes. Well, you have to be. You have to be. Yeah. You know, and I'm going to say this, and then we could go back, but it kind of burns me up when people talk about women in business and they see the strong part of us, or they hear us say, either you like me or you don't, then they want to label us a particular name. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's not right, because just because we overly confident or we feel like that we could do what you can do doesn't mean that we're not sweet and nice.
You know, and the thing is, like, I know that's usually considered like something that males have for us, but honestly, it seems like it's more women that label that. You know what I mean? Like guys can kind of understand. You know what I mean? That you're, at least in my experience, and I'm sure there are misogynistic guys out there that completely embody what most people are mad at. But from my personal experience, I get way more haterade from women.
Even in the hip hop world. You think so? Is it because there's not many women in hip hop that this? And you know, we kind of saw a little bit of it over the weekend with two great hip hop artists, female artists.
Yeah, and that's. First of all, they're entertainers. They're not hip hoppers. No, I'm just kidding. That's how I feel on that. No, but that's kind of my point. Yeah, because Queen Latifah never had beef like that with nobody. Real
Yo-Yo. Her and Yo-Yo had a little beef, but they squashed it.
But it wasn't like this, to where you can tell it's just like they can't both be great together. They got to be stepping. One of them's got to be on top of the other one, and I don't like that mentality. So even that
Queen
is
Latifah and Yo-Yo ended up doing a duet with Brandy, one of the most largest hip hop records there were. Theirs were just lyrically. It was basically lyric. But nowadays it's like over the you wore the glasses I wore last week, or
I mean. And those two specifically who I'm talking about when I say I want young women to know that there's another option.
Yes. Yes.
You don't gotta be getting fake booties and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. To be successful. And I don't know. I just think, you know, as people with their level of a platform, obviously, nobody's obligated to do anything. You could be whoever you want, but I don't respect anybody that doesn't want to make our next generation better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the accountability. You know what? Here's my take on it, and I'll leave it alone. There's not enough of us women in that space publicly to really make a difference. Because we can't depend on the two or the one to cover the entire spectrum. Right. When I was coming up with hip hop, man, I had Salt and Pepper. Don't give me. I had Nikki
Light.
D, Nikki Light, Sister Soldier. We even had Goldie rapping. Goldie was like one of the first women that had cut an album rapping, you know. So we had women that covered a spectrum. They were a rainbow of different talents and came from different ethnicities and different parts of life,
right,
where they were able to make a difference, or they were able to cover everyone, and every young girl could see themselves in hip hop. Whereas that changed about the bad boy kind of era when we got the Little Kims, and then
she was the first, and you know,
and I love Queen Bee. Don't get me wrong, I love Lil Kim.
I mean, but when Nicki came out, it was the same exact thing. Lil Kim was getting all her, you know what I mean? It basically was going on with Nicki and Cardi is the same exact thing that happened with Kim and Nicki.
Yeah. But we don't have enough women to represent.
Yeah, at least not mainstream. There's some really dope female MCs.
There was one girl I love. What was her name? Cocaine. Oh my God, I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, there are a lot of great underground hip hop artists. But as far as mainstream, unfortunately, we just don't have enough.
But I mean, that's not even just for women. Men don't got no mainstream. I mean, Eminem, at least he can rap well.
Okay, we gotta get off of that one because I'm not gonna give my hip hop advice on that one because I'm old school. I'm still rocking LL Cool J, KRS-One, and Big Daddy Kane.
My rap name is Young Old School.
You know, I'm gonna stick with East Nikki. So I come from a completely different generation. Shout out to the iTunes and all of those that I can go ahead and still get my nostalgic music from.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
You know, you are one of the leading Stockton moguls that are up and coming. You jack of all trades. You know, got your hand here and there. And I'm still in that term, Renaissance woman. I'm still in that from you. Okay,
I didn't make it up.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm still in that. I just love that. And back to entrepreneurship. I really think that being an entrepreneur, you do have to be a renaissance person.
Oh, yeah.
You do have to have multiple things going on.
Especially when your business is artistic, like cooking or you know what I mean? Because you have to have that business mind and that creative mind.
Yes, you do. And it has to go cohesively together. My creativity can overshadow my business part sometimes. That's just being an artist. It just does that.
And that's where your husband comes in.
That's where my husband comes in at.
Know how that goes.
That part. But another thing is I had to train myself to allow myself to when to be creative and when not. I had to train myself to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that discipline, then you'll be all over the place.
Yeah.
You'll be, you know, you wouldn't have things in categories that will work for you. So as an entrepreneurship, I strongly suggest that discipline is one, especially for us women, because we could get sidetracked real quick.
Oh, yes.
Girl, we will fall in love and you ain't gonna hear from us for 2 years.
It happened to me like 3 times.
Yeah, so you have to, and that's when you pick a mate, like you said, that understands you and get that part of you. But anyway, that's a whole nother
When
story.
you actually find a mature relationship, it's apparent.
That's another story. In the meantime, we're going to go back and use that 30% discount at the adult store. We got some friends there. I'll be like, Chezz sent me. She said, I could get this. It's 30% per item, not the total. Okay, per item. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because me and Chezz, we could laugh, we could talk all day and forget that we're on camera, on the radio.
Slip up and
we're supposed to be professional. All right, so here's Chef Tobias. Go ahead, give me your information one more time, please.
All right, that's Chezz Day with Hella Deadass Entertainment. You can find me Hella Deadass on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Mixed Metaphors, my freestyle event is coming up September 21st, 8 to 11 p.m. at Zap Zone. We will be having deals on beer, pizza, and laser tag. So show up early. Show up early, come party with me, and let's shoot some lasers. Then on the next day, the 22nd, come on out to Blackwater for a vegan and vegetarian-friendly meal-in performance. So, yeah.
All right, yes, and those of you, I'm proud. You know, we have a lady here on the dashboard. Wrecking the bike, so you can see who definitely hold it down in the back.
Oh, and that's another.
Yes.
That's DJing now. So if
Yes.
you need one of those,
Yes, so I am your new publicist now. That's my side hustle.
Hey,
I will be marketing her now.
we can talk percentages after we get off the air.
You know, I don't need that. I just need a moment to dance on the dance floor for about 5 minutes by myself, and I just need some food, and I'm good. I'm good. Yeah,
I can help with that.
Bump heads, and we good. I'm good. Yeah, so Chef Tobias, this has been an awesome conversation. I hope that you got some pearls of wisdom. If anything you could take away from this is encouragement. Start your business. Do it on your terms. Multitask. Don't be afraid of your talents. If you have more than one talent, find a way how to blend it.
Stop giving yourself excuses.
Yes.
Stop being your biggest obstacle.
Absolutely. And find a way to make everything cohesive and work for you. Yes. I love this little microphone. I can get used to this. This is cool. This is cool. Yes. All right, Chef Tobias Cooks with Women in Business here with the Voice of Stockton. Please log on to the Voice of Stockton, thevoiceofstockton.org. Click, share, donate. Chef Tobias Cooks. I will be back tomorrow here with the Voice of Stockton. All right. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me, Chef Tobias Cooks. Enjoy yourself and have a great week.
Yeah, shada-ba-da-dee-da, Tobias Cooks.
This is Darius Oliver, and you're listening to 92.1 KXVS.